that was one of the better. My favorite things, like you said, along with the sound and the music, is how they used practical stuff.
And then they do the kind of classic slasher thing where they'll cut away and just do splatters on a wall or something. So you get used to that, and you're like, okay, it's going to be like this. Like they have a budget or what have you. But then as you get deeper into the movie, they start showing you the like visceral gore where it's just unrelentless and insane. But I love the mixture of that, like off-screen kills versus like in-your-face stuff, like the blender is great. And the opening for this movie, which we haven't talked about yet, is fantastic.
Yeah, with the neighbors.
Because you're wondering throughout the whole movie, like, what the fuck was the whole point of that? Like, where does this come in? And it was because they were, at least to me, they were the only ones around, so they basically executed them so nobody would be set off, correct?
Yeah, that's exactly why.
And then they play that song, dude.
Over and over again.
We should have just sang that for the entirety of this episode and then released it.
The scene where the wife of one of the brothers is runs away to the forest and finds the house, and you hear the fucking music, so you already know obviously what went down in the beginning. And she's like banging on the glass, and the dude looks like he's just sitting there like ignoring her, and she's like, "Open the fucking door, you fucking asshole! What is your problem?" And then she just gets thrown through the glass. That kill is a good kill too. It's like a little bit off screen and a little bit on screen, and you kind of think like it's an axe, so you kind of think that like he's raising the axe over her, and you think that he's gonna cut her head off, like down through the neck, and he doesn't. He like almost like a golf swing through the side of her head.
Just nasty stuff. Also, touche to these filmmakers for putting it in the script to use that song over and over and over again, where the killers like set up the CD player or DVD player to like just repeat that one song for the entirety of this entire movie, whether you can hear it or not. Like, that's pretty ingenious. They're just like, yeah, we're gonna save money. We're gonna save a shit ton of money on music, and we're just gonna play this song. And so now when I think about this movie, I just have that song playing in my head constantly. It's so damn catchy. It's way more catchy than it has any right to be. But you're next, man. What would you rate this?
What are we doing? Out of 10?
Yeah, let's do out of 10.
10? Okay. I think I would give it like a solid 8. It's fucking just a good ass horror movie. Good slasher. Good. Like I said in the beginning, I like those type of horror movies that are kind of more on the like, you can find yourself in a situation like it. I think we've all been there, and you've been to a place where you're not familiar with, or like you go on vacation and God forbid something like that happens. So that's why I like it so much. That's why it's good. I think it still holds up very well, and it scares the shit out of you. But yeah, I think I saw 8. What about you?
Yeah, I think I would agree with you. I love that this film, in its own way, taps into this primal fear that we all have of meeting your significant other's parents or family, and then having them be shitty, and then having to expend this extended amount of time with them, knowing that you're not going to get along, and them using that as a jump off point for this film is fantastic, and I think it's expertly written, but it doesn't feel like it's trying too hard at the same time. I love the little details, like Erin's character, our final girl, who she ends up being. Even at the dinner table towards the beginning of the movie, Crispin like kind of fucks up, and he's like, "Oh yeah, we started. She was my TA, but then we started a relationship, and then we stopped. Like she stopped being my assistant because we felt it was inappropriate. Why would you say that? That's TMI, dude. TMI. Just little things like that. I really enjoyed, and just like that overarching of, like you said, being somewhere, feeling like the black sheep. It's not fun, and in this case, it's like turns out. It's like a worst case scenario film, like similar to like Green Room or something like that, where it's like something that happens all the time, or a scenario that happens all the time, and then something kind of surreal is brought into the story to tell a really interesting, kind of unique tale.
Mm-hmm.
I do have a couple Swann facts.
Oh yeah.
First up, the film was shot entirely on handheld to help increase the tension and atmosphere. That's something that I noticed more so now, maybe just because I've seen so many films since this came out in like 2013. I think it did an initial run in 2011 where it was being shopped around at different festivals.
Mm-hmm.
And then in 2013 or 2012, Lionsgate picked it up, and I think they paid like $2 million for it, which ended up obviously being very, very good for them with how much money the movie made. The house in which the movie takes place had been actually vacant for 12 years before being used for this production.
Damn, that's wild.
The masks in this film helped inspire the masks used in the video game Hotline Miami. Yeah, for having such a small budget, even if you look up like the old posters and one sheets for this, it's all amazing, great marketing for this movie.
Yeah.
And last but not least, Simon Barrett, the writer of the film, actually plays the dude in the tiger mask.
Oh shit! Which one is that? The one who gets killed by the grinder?
By the
or the tenderizer?
Tenderizer, yes.
That's awesome.
He would be. Yeah, I want to have like the worst kill. I don't know. Do you think that's the worst kill or the blender? I feel like the tenderizer is the most like. Well, also the dude at the end, who is it? The lamb dude, the wolf? No, the wolf dude. Towards the end, when she sets him up in the basement.
Ooh, yeah.
And just fucking bludgeons him with a fucking tree log, firewood.
I like the blender. I'm gonna share a deep dark secret of fear of mine, Wes, but I don't like anything to do with the neck.
Okay.
Like, I don't like anyone touching my neck. I just got this weird thing, dude. So anytime I see anything like that, like the dad getting his fucking neck sliced open, or the piano wire slicing open the sister, that I think those are and you see it, like, yeah, those two were it for me.
Okay, yeah, I could see that. Even though it was an off-screen kill, they really fucking wrecked that mom, Barbara Crampton.
Oh yeah, dude. She had like, what was it? A axe or
a machete? It looks like a
machete, right?
Coming out of her face or something. Like they just annihilated her, dude. I did have a question for you regarding kind of the end reveal of the movie, where we already discussed the fact that the family was in on it, trying to get the inheritance because they're all fucking scrubby ass people. And then, of course, Erin flipping the script on everyone, and she's like super like highly trained killer, I guess, or trap setter, whatever you want to say. And then her thinking the entire time that her boyfriend, Crispin, had been probably killed because he was like at least he's portrayed as kind of like this pussy kind of character. He ends up calling his brother's phone. Erin answers, and he thinks he's talking to his brother, and he admits his guilt, right, to her without her having to say a word. And he's like, I know you guys are mad at me for taking off, but I just couldn't do this. Is it done yet? Like, I'm sorry for everything, but, at least it's done and whatever. And so she's already put two and two together that she was set up. He comes into the house. She's rigged the main door with an axe. Like, so whoever opens up the front door, this axe is going to come down and just, fuck them up like Oculus style. And Crispin goes into survival mode at this point, and he's, trying to talk Erin down, like, you were never supposed to be touched, and you were going to be our alibi, like a stranger that saw everything that went down, so that way, we could get the inheritance money, and everything's going to be fine, and I'm glad you're alive, and don't worry, I can take care of your student debt. He's trying to say whatever he can to get out of this, and meanwhile he's slowly kind of inching his way to her, and she's not really buying it for a second, but at the same time you're not sure if she's just gonna, like, what she's gonna do, and she ends up stabbing him pretty much in his jugular in the neck, which is another, you said you don't like neck stuff, which it's pretty fucked up. But in this case, what are your thoughts on that? Do you think she was justified? Do you think she fucked up in that, or would you have done the same?
Oh fuck! I would have done the fucking same. I think. Doesn't he like say, like, what does he say? Like, he asks her why, and she says like, why the fuck not, or something like that, right?
Yeah,
that'd be my exact word. Those would be my exact words too. Like, nah, dude, you were just fucking. Like, it seemed like he was. Like, when he was talking to her about how she was always gonna live, and it just changed because of how she was raised and the person she was, and she fucked everything up. I call fucking bullshit. I'm pretty sure the dude's girlfriend was gonna be like the only survivor, right? Or like the witness. He was kind of bullshitting her that while he was talking to her, and just trying to get her to kind of not fucking kill him. But I think, yeah, she was totally justified in fucking gutting him like a pig.
Also, what were your thoughts on the cop just firing on her through the window?
I'm very cop-like. Like, you don't know what's going on, right? I guess, I mean, his view could have been kind of skewed, like you said. He didn't know who was attacking who. And then we find out that, she's shot, and we find out that she's alive. But then the booby trap she set up, kind of, it's off screen, right? It doesn't happen.
Yeah. So he's like calls for backup through to his dispatch thing, and then he starts to walk through the main door, which is funny that he didn't just climb through the window, but he goes through the main door to see what's happening, and then he triggers the axe booby trap that she had set beforehand, and she screams no, and then we see like the axe come towards him, and then it cuts to the title card, and it says "You're next" with a bunch like blood splatter. So I think it's obviously safe to say that we're supposed to assume that the cop did himself in. And but what does that mean for Erin? What do you think? Do you think that she's gonna go down for all of the murders now, or will she be able to